Hey, this is Christian Kane. You're listening to Dispatch Radio.
Perfect.
All right, folks, we have a great actress on with us now, and it was one of my favorite films of 2014, Zero Dark 30, and she had a role in that, as well as Charles Agren's Monday at 11:01 a.m. We talked to him about that film, and she was able to share a little bit of insight on that production as well. Lauren Shaw with us now. Lauren, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, it's great, and you know what? I tell you what, Kathryn Bigelow's film was just truly amazing. And first, catch everybody up a little bit on what your role is in that film and who you had scenes with, that sort of thing.
Sure. So I initially went over there. I was based in New Zealand at the time, actually, and it was a predominantly Kiwi stunt team that did that. So it was New Zealand stunt coordinator, New Zealand stunt performer. So I got brought over initially to stunt double Jessica Chastain in the film. So I did her stunt driving in that. And over the course of being there quite early on in the film, shooting in Jordan, Kathryn approached me and said that there was a female character that's present at the big bomb explosion. In terms of how that scenario actually played out in real life, and they hadn't initially wanted to focus. They wanted to focus just on Jennifer Ely's character, and she said, well, we want to write you into this. So it was kind of one of those amazing opportunities where I went, oh my gosh, of course. And we literally went from sitting at lunch working out who was on board for stunt work that day to being on set with Mark Pohl writing me lines and passing them as I was going on. So that was actually how that came about. It was a pretty incredible opportunity.
What an amazing story as well, to know something like that would manifest for a film that was so critically acclaimed and so successful. And what is the best way to explain Kathryn Bigelow's approach? Some directors are fast, some are slow, meticulous. I mean, how would you really describe her approach to filmmaking?
It was just absolutely inspiring to watch her, male or female. She was so incredibly invested in the film. I'd say she's a real actor's director, just so passionate about also telling the story accurately. That was so important to her, that it was that she really represented, the truth of what happened. And she was just so supportive to all her actors that were there with her, and just so invested every day and in each moment that she was capturing. It was really beautiful, very supportive.
Was there a lot of research that went into this for you, where you were like, after maybe you got some of the information, you're headed over there for the stunt work that you mentioned, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And did you do a little research to kind of dig into a little bit more of the true events and some of the stories that were that we publicly knew, and what the story would actually bring to light?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there was a lot of people very passionate. It was interesting after the movie came out, reading about, people who are, had more inside military knowledge than was probably publicly available, speaking about, who was actually in the scene where you see my character in the story, what actually went down there. And that was the biggest loss of life the CIA had ever had in one blow at that point. So it was a big situation. It was, so to be honest, it was something that came about so quickly. I normally would have done more research, but it was, I kind of did it on the fly as I could. And then it was also interesting learning more about it, after as well.
And obviously the film just blew up and, was nominated for several Oscars and great success for everyone that was involved with it and that kind of thing. What was it like to be able to, did you get to participate in some of the red carpet events and, kind of expand your experience level besides just what we see on screen?
Yeah, well, for sure. I was actually still based in New Zealand when it was coming out. I was just in the process of shifting from New Zealand to LA, so I didn't get to take part that much. But I mean, just a huge honor to play a small part in a film that was incredibly iconic, and also to be in Jordan for a month was a real experience. There were definite moments where we were shooting in Amman, and you got fighter jets going overhead, and they're not necessarily just doing a training exercise. When we were shooting down in the Dead Sea, you're looking right across Israel, and you're occasionally hearing rockets, and it's a definite reminder of where you were and what was actually going on.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. We did get to speak to Charles Agren about his film and working with just an amazing cast on Monday at 11:01 a.m. And you get to play the girlfriend, and tell everybody a little bit about that film and what your role was.
I got the script and it was just very interesting. It's a bit of a genre bender. There's plenty of action. There's, a thriller, but there's a very interesting psychological element to it too. So I think it's a bit of a slow burner. I think it'll catch people off guard. It opens with Charles and I heading away for a little romantic getaway, and we find this gorgeous little town to spend the weekend in, and then strange things start happening. A little bit of parallel universe, and I'm kind of the grounded normalcy, if you like, and everything, trying to figure out what's happening to him and where exactly we are and what's going on. So I'm trying to keep up with what's happening to him in the story as it progresses.
And what a great experience to work with just some great cast members, with just an incredible team that Charles was able to kind of put together and really make that vision sort of come alive.
I mean, Brianna was so much fun. Brianna Evigan, Lance Henriksen, incredible, just amazing to watch them work. So no, I was very, very blessed to be able to work on that.
I think Charles says the biggest thing, Lance, is he just made it look so effortless.
Yeah, I mean, he's magnetic.
Yeah.
You watch him, he's just absolutely magnetic, and is so present, and it's very inspiring to watch him.
Folks, if you're just catching us, this is Lauren Shaw. We're talking about some of her different films that she's had in the works here over the last year or so, and Zero Dark 30, Monday at 11:01. And I want to switch gears to a thriller that's based on some true events, kind of close to my heart, with a topic that I've written about, and that would be Relentless, a thriller about human trafficking. And you kind of play the mom that's dealing with the real-life nightmare, and wow, what a heavy topic.
Absolutely. I mean, again, this was a script that I got, and it just absolutely viscerally hit me so hard. I sat down, read it, and one quick read, and just went, I have to be involved in telling the story. So yeah, as you said, it's based absolutely in true events. I think that human trafficking is something that a lot of people in America maybe that don't have as much knowledge or understanding of the problem think that it's something that happens in Eastern Europe or Asia, not necessarily realizing how large the problem is, very much in our own back doorstep. The numbers of human trafficking victims that come straight out of Central America into the States is really scary, and that's what the story is based on. So my daughter in the story gets caught up in a human trafficking ring, and it's about my journey down to El Salvador to rescue her, and just how far our mother will go. And yeah, absolutely based on true events.
And I was researching the book that I put together. The one thing on the human trafficking that I was most blown away with was all of the different stories and angles and scenarios, and it's almost like every tale is so unique depending on where it happens in the world, and what trial that individual may be going through. What is it about the victim that put them at risk?
In this circumstance, it was simply, and as it plays out in the story, it was wrong place, wrong time. Our family in the story has ties to El Salvador. I run a coffee shop in Oregon,
Gotcha.
And I sent my daughter down to El Salvador, who essentially is almost like my mother in El Salvador for all intensive purposes. So she's simply having a summer down there, doing a little work experience and study and holiday, and two other girls at the farm. She gets caught up, not intentionally, but they go after two other girls, that are there, and she gets caught up with it. Great concept.
Yeah. And I love everything and anything that will help raise some awareness. And I can't imagine the emotional turmoil it must to dive into a script like that, be transformed to a mother who's going through that and try to capture that on screen. It had to be a very emotional challenge that you as an actor must have enjoyed.
It was harrowing, but I think very empowering. I mean, I hope that the movie will really hit a mark with the audiences, and the fact that it's very watchable. It's a thriller, but it's also I hopefully will enlighten and educate a little bit too. I mean, I am a mother personally, so it's not much of a stretch to go through imagining what it would be like to put myself in that position, for sure. And also the great thing about the movie, we partnered with an incredible organization, Abolish Slavery Coalition.
Yeah.
And they're just an incredible organization that works not only to educate, but actually has, task forces on the ground, rehabilitating and breaking up human trafficking rings. So it's, so the first proceeds of mine personally actually go to that organization in the film.
Let me ask about Crossbones. It's a NBC
Mm-hmm.
TV show, and you got to play opposite Malkovich. And John Malkovich obviously has this incredible resume and an incredible legacy in Hollywood, and with many, many years left ahead of him and that kind of thing. So,
Mm.
what is it like when you approach a script like that with someone like this, who you're being asked to quote play as the character is described as the crazy estranged wife? That's got to be an
Yeah.
interesting angle to go. Oh, that's an interesting challenge. And who am I playing? Wait a minute, I'm married to John Malkovich as the crazy
Yeah.
estranged wife. What have I signed on for?
Amazing. Absolutely what an incredible guy to work with. I initially I didn't get to play opposite him for a little while in the story. As it unfolds, I actually did a lot of work with Julian Sands, who's another incredible actor, and he was so supportive, and I just had so much fun working with him. I mean, a crazy space to play in, but it's actually more of a crazy, messed up love story, and Julian has me captive and is using me almost as bait to try and get to Malkovich, who plays Blackbeard in the story. So yeah, it's just two powerhouse actors that were, moments of being intimidated initially for sure, but we're just both so supportive. So I couldn't say enough. And Richard Coyle was incredible. Neil Cross, who's the creator, was absolutely amazing to work with too. So I can't, his writing is just amazing. I might be crazy, but I'm muttering, I'm muttering Shakespeare to myself as I'm sitting in the insane asylum. So just so fun, so rich.
She's part of the best short film at the Vancouver Film Fest. That's called The Test of Time. Got a lot of other great projects under your belt, been on all sorts of different TV shows and that kind of thing as well. Lauren, is there a new project coming down the pike that we could tell us about, or anything you got in the works that you could share with us?
Yeah, there is. I'm fingers crossed in terms of schedule timing, but amazing project called 44 Below that everyone should look out for, hopefully filming this winter, New Zealand winter, so summer here in the States. I'll be going back to New Zealand to do that, and it's another thriller, incredible story. Basically, a group of scientists get trapped in the submarine, and the drama plays out both on the trapped submarine as they're waiting for someone to rescue them, and the drama on land as the person trying to rescue them is attempting to get in through, very crazy weather in New Zealand to get to the sub in time before basically we run out of oxygen. And of course, the drama on board the sub, how do people deal with impending death if they know down to the minute how long they have left? So a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to going back and working with a dear friend of mine who's directing that. So it'll be exciting.
You've been very blessed to have a string of just great projects that have been challenging you as an actress, working with great people, and it's just got to be such a great time in your life. Is there still that voice of someone or someone you could give credit to of some advice they'd given you maybe early on that you still kind of cling to, and it still just rings in your head? It's just still so powerful.
Oh gosh, I have an incredible mentor teacher here in LA, and I give her credit to allowing me and helping me to understand the freedom to play in these roles where they're very real for me when I'm playing in them. And her name's Diana Castle, and she's just absolutely incredible. She runs a school here called The Imagined Life, and I would give her full credit and very much having an effect on me being able to play in these spaces.
And is there a certain moment that you'd share with us where you're like, that's like almost the moment that got you to almost call home or tell the family and friends to go, you won't believe what I got to work with or what I actually got to do today?
Well, that Zero Dark moment, three odd years ago was definitely one of those where I'm going, oh my goodness, I'm running on set to Kathryn Bigelow's movie, and then Mark Bowles writing me lines, and this is definitely one of those pinch yourself moments for sure. But there's so many. I genuinely just feel very lucky. Each and every story that that we've discussed, getting to be a part of sharing is I just feel incredibly lucky. But no, I mean I think for what I do, if you love your craft and you must do it and you must share a story, then chase it. There's no, I think it's that simple.
Just chase it. That's some great advice. Lauren Shaw, folks, and it's been such a blessing to get to know her, talk about just these great bodies of work, and we look forward to 44 Below. Is that right? 44
yeah,
feet? Yeah, 44.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
44 Below. Yeah.
And maybe some other projects as well. So thank you again, Lauren, for your time.
Thank you so much.